Hello, this is Jackie Tan, and today I'm going to show you how to make a paper rocket for a Stomp rocket. Your finished product is going to look something like this, and let's get started. For today's project, you will need a template from airrocketworks.com. You will need some scissors, some regular masking tape, and a PVC tube. Your PVC tube will be 1/2 inch, schedule 40, about 12 inches in length. Optional items are a little template marking where 3 fins will go, a Sharpie, and I like to pre-cut some masking tape to make the build easier. So I've just taken my pre-cut pieces and put them on the bottom of a tin can. All right, here we go. Your template looks like this. You need to save everything on this template. The top part will be the body of the rocket. Then we have some other rocket parts, and we need to save the scrap. You need to cut out your template on all of the solid lines. Solid lines are for cutting. Dotted or dashed lines are for folding. When you cut out your template, it'll end up looking like this. This top rectangle will be for the body of the rocket. We have 3 fins. This funny shaped piece here will be the nose cone. And then finally we have a little circle over here, which is the pressure cap. Make sure that you save this piece of paper down here. It has instructions on it, and you will be using it at the end of your build. I'm going to set this apart for now. To get started, take the body of the rocket, and you're going to wrap it around the PVC pipe. The wrap wants to be snug but not tight. And to hold it in place, I like to just get one end anchored. Use a small piece of tape just to get it started. Get the other end anchored down. Now, you want this to be snug but not too tight. If it's too tight, your rocket won't fly off the Stomp rocket. So I think 3 pieces should be good just to get this started. Once I have these 3 pieces in place, do a quick check. Make sure you have not taped your paper to the PVC pipe. This one's a little bit snug. I think it's going to be okay. I want to make sure not to pull the tape too tight on the next steps. Once your paper is in place with a few pieces of tape holding it, you need to get a piece of masking tape the full length of your rocket. That looks pretty good. I like a nice clean cut, so I use scissors and cover the entire seam. You want to seal this up because there's a lot of pressure when you stomp on your rocket, and you don't want the side of your rocket to blow out. Okay. So that piece of tape has secured the seam. Now, to finish up the body of the rocket, we need to spiral tape around the entire rocket, top to bottom. My paper's already a little snug, so I'm going to make sure not to pull it too tight. You need to find an angle that will allow you to spiral it without overlapping too much. You don't want to waste too much tape on this step, but you do want to make sure not to leave any paper exposed. Mine just got a little wrinkly right there, but that's okay. It'll press down. Oopsie. Oopsie. Let me fix this angle here. Gotta go back a little bit. Oopsie. I'm not doing too good in the middle here. If you find you get off track, just back up and try and lay it down nice and flat. Don't worry if you get some wrinkles. That's normal. You'll be able to smooth them out at the end. I'm being careful not to pull too tight. I don't want my rocket to be stuck on the plastic tube. Left-handed doesn't work too good for me. Finish it up like this, all the way to the bottom, and cut it off. All right, now, if you have any lumps and bumps like here, not to worry. Just smooth them out, press them down flat. And the body of this rocket is finished. Okay. This is a step that I like to do. For the top of the rocket, I choose the end that has a little bit of paper exposed. Slide that paper past the end of the tube just a little bit, maybe half an inch, and fold it over. I find this is a nice step for putting on the pressure cap. The pressure cap goes right here on the end, but I need to install it with 2 pieces of masking tape crisscrossed over the top. So I'm going to get those ready now. There's one, and center that pressure cap on there. Press that tape down tight. Grab another piece of tape, and you want to crisscross. Go the opposite direction this time. Press the tape down tight. Okay, this is a rocket that will fly just like this. The air from the Stomp rocket goes in, the rocket will go up. However, adding fins will give it more stability when it flies. Adding a nose cone will make it look more like a rocket and make it more aerodynamic. So we're going to start with the nose cone now. The nose cone is this funny shaped piece here. It has a lot of dotted lines. The people who have the hardest time making their nose cone work don't take the time to fold on all the lines. So make sure that you fold on every single line. If you do that, your nose cone will take a nice shape. So working your way around, fold every line. I open it up in between folds so I can get to the next one. Come on, open up. There we go. You'll find when you make things, it's pretty common to make mistakes along the way. I try and catch myself early and make adjustments as I go. And this is looking pretty good now. All my folds have been folded end to end. Now when you look at the nose cone, you'll notice there's dots here and then it's plain white here. As you form your nose cone, you want to make sure to cover the dots. Cover the dots. You want the dots to be hidden under all the white flaps. That looks pretty good. I'm going to grab a small piece of tape, and now that the dots are hidden, I'm going to put that piece of tape on to cover up that seam. And my nose cone is done for now. We'll come back to this towards the end of the build, so I'm going to set this nose cone aside right now. The next step is the fins. The fins are these 3 pieces here. To fold the fins, the first thing you want to do is fold them in half long ways so that you can see the Air Rocket Works URL. Okay. Now to make it so you can hold the fins on the rocket, we need to fold these flaps back. So let's fold this one up so it's hiding the Air Rocket Works, and then fold it halfway back. Flip it over, fold this one up, fold it halfway back. We're going to repeat that 3 times. Fold it in half lengthwise. Fold the bottom up. And halfway back. Flip it over, fold the bottom up. And flip it halfway back. Okay, 2 fins done. Last fin, fold it halfway, long ways. Fold the bottom up, halfway back, flip it over, fold the bottom up, and halfway back. All right, we have 3 fins, and we want to place them evenly around the rocket. Now, some of you may want to experiment with 1 fin, 2 fins, or all 3 fins. That's your choice. You can put them at the bottom of the rocket, the middle of the rocket, or the top of the rocket. That's your choice. You might want to experiment. Now, it's tricky with 3 fins getting them evenly spaced, so I've given you a little template. I'm going to place my rocket on the template, and I'm going to mark on my rocket roughly, I'm going to see my head here. Let me see if I can do this without sticking my head in the camera. Right up this side, okay? So I've marked 3 spots on my rocket where I want to place the fins. Okay. First fin's going to go right above that line. But before I do that, I want to trim it. I like my rocket fins to just have a little bit of that corner cut off. I do that top and bottom. Grab a piece of tape, line it up on the side. Place the fin just above the bottom of the rocket. That's where I want to place mine, and tape it down. Okay, I need a little bit more tape. Let's tape up the other side of this fin. And tape it down. Okay, fin number 1 is sort of done. Number 2 is going to go on the next black line. Start with a piece of tape. Tape it up. Line up the fin on the black mark. Oops, you know what I forgot? I forgot to trim my fin. I like to lop off those corners. I think it looks more aerodynamic that way. That's optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Tape it down. That's kind of nice. That's holding the neighboring fin on a little bit. Okay. Another piece of tape to lock that other side of the fin down. Do your best to keep those fins pointing straight up the rocket. And the last rocket, I'm going to remember to cut off these corners. Grab a piece of tape. And tape that last fin on. And finish that. All right, fins are done. They're nicely spaced around the bottom of the rocket. Pressure cap's in place. The nose cone's made out of paper. It's kind of flimsy, so what we're going to do is take this scrap paper and roll it up and stick it inside the nose cone to make it a little bit stiffer. So let's see, I'm going to just fold that in half first. Fold that in half. I need to make it a little bit shorter, I think. Just wad this up. Fold it up, roll it up. Squish the end into a point. And then see if it fits inside your nose cone. Ooh, I got lucky on the first try on that one. Okay. Much nicer nose cone. That fits over the top of the rocket. And it is ready for tape. Tape that nose cone in place. And I didn't do a good job on this side on the seam, so I'm going to put another piece of tape on it. And there you have it. A paper rocket that's ready to be mounted on the launcher. I think, though, before I take this one outside, I want to double check, make sure all my seams are tight. Press down hard on all the tape. Down at the bottom, some of my tape pieces were a little bit short. I'll go in later and I'll add some tape to make sure all the edges of the fin are secured to the rocket. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this build. Happy launching, and I hope your rockets fly high. I'll see you next time.